Hi, boys and girls. All right, this week we are going to. What? Oh, don't scare me like that, guys. Look at Blue. What did you do to yourself? Oh. Oh, look at you. You look so festive. Is this your holiday outfit? Oh, you look like you ran into a pine tree. Cool. All right, so Blue thinks we should kind of do some winter-themed, holiday-ish style projects, so let's get going. Right, Blue? Yeah, let's do it. For this project, we will be focusing on pattern. A pattern is something that repeats. So I have blue rectangle, green circle, blue rectangle, green circle, blue rectangle, and that is a example of a pattern. You can have lots of different patterns like dog, cat, dog, cat, dog, cat. Or maybe you could have dog, squirrel, cat, dog, squirrel, cat. So let's make a project that has a pattern. For today's project, you will need one piece of paper, something to color with like crayons or colored pencils. I am using watercolors. So get that stuff ready and you can pause this video until you are ready to start. Alright, I have my paper ready and my marker ready, and I'm going to start my paper out in the portrait direction. So it's going from top to bottom. I find the middle with my finger, and I'm going to scooch up a little bit, and off to the side I'm going to draw a small to medium sized circle, slow and steady. My circle is definitely not perfect, but you're going to see me darkening it a little bit. I am not going to be coloring it or anything crazy like that yet, so just wait for it. Put my finger back in the middle, I go to the other side, and I draw another circle. Okay, so now inside these circles, I'm going to draw a big circle inside the other circle, taking up most of that space. Let's zoom in. Alright, so zoomed in, you see these two big circles. In between, I'm going to make a curved line. And from that curved line, I'm going to have a line that comes down in a diagonal, another diagonal. So it's almost like a rounded triangle. Okay. So I am smoothing these things in a little bit. I'm getting them a little bit darker. And once I have that all set, I'm going to go to the top. So it's like I go from above one eye, and I go across to the next eye. Kind of in a slight curve, almost a straight line. From there and there, I make lines that go up, not too tall, but little straight lines that go up. And then I'm going to add another line that goes across. Okay. So I'm going to fix up my lines a little bit. Make them a little darker. I like to go over my lines to make them look nice and smooth. Okay. So once you're to that part, we don't have a place for our pattern yet, but we'll get there soon, you'll see. Smoothing out that last line. Okay, once I've got that all set and done, I'm going to be making straight lines that go from top to the bottom in between these two longer lines. So it's like I'm making little stripes, and I'm trying to start at the top and complete it all the way to the bottom. So make sure your line touches the top and the bottom. And try really hard to not have your lines go too far past, because then that looks a little sloppy. Okay? When I have that in between, in the middle, at the top, I'm going to draw a circle. And I'm going to connect the circle to the lines here. So it's like I look out of this little hat now. Darken up my lines a little bit. So again, I drew a circle in the middle, above, floating above. And connected it with two diagonal lines. Okay, now that I've got that all set and done, I'm going to go underneath this beak, because you can tell it's a beak, and make another long curved line. Then I'm going to do a line down, line down. And I'm going to make another curved line just like I did at the top. I darken mine a little bit. And this is another place that we're going to add our pattern to momentarily. I'm going to add some stripes to this part as well. But first, let's do the edge. So from the hat all the way down, we'll call it the scarf, we're going to make curved lines like that. Then in the middle, I'm going to drop down and make these two curved lines. Let's zoom in on them. So this little thing I added kind of looks like a letter V. Then I'm going to add a line that comes down, matching the edges. Okay, another little line. And now I've got the top part of my birdie ready. So, you see how I practice? I'm going to draw another curved line that almost goes to the bottom, and one on the other side. And from there, I'm going to add a new line that goes next to it. New line next to it. And then at the bottom, I'm going to add a line that comes out, curve in, and back. So there's a little fade. Out, curve in, back. And now I need my little wings. So I'm going to draw a line that comes out, down, and back. And if you guys can figure out what we made a drawing of, it's a penguin! Penguin time! Alright, got one sweet penguin. Alright, so now I have my coloring materials ready. I'm going to be using watercolor. And I'm going to tell you the truth here, I forgot to add a couple of lines that I'll add soon. But I'm coloring the bottom circle of my eye in black. You might be using colored pencils or crayons or something of the sort, but I'm filling in the bottom part of his eye black. Once I've got the bottom part of this eye black, I can fill in the next part of my eye. And then I can fill in some other parts. So, mixing up my black. I'm going to do this little letter V, fill it in up to the hat, all nice and black. I'm going to do the sides here, in between those two lines at the side that we added. Go to the other side and fill that in. Then down below, going to fill his little birdie wings, cutesy wootsy little penguin wings in. So if you take a look, we don't have a pattern yet. So I want you to start thinking of a pattern of different colors we could add. We are going to add a pattern to the hat and the scarf. And remember, as I said earlier, I forgot to add some things to my scarf that I have to go back with marker in a second. So you're probably going to have to do that too, little buddies. Alright, so I fill in my penguin sides with the black. You look like one cute little penguin. Fill it on in. I'm almost done with the black. If you're using watercolor, you want to make sure you rinse your brush really well before you go to another color. It's always a bummer to have black in my other colors. They don't look as pretty. Okay, so back with my marker because I remember I forgot. I'm going to draw a line that comes down, across, and back up. I'm going to draw some little lines coming from it. And then I'm going to add those vertical straight lines across my scarf. See, I told you I forgot about them. rats. That's okay. I fix it. On the lines. And I want to turn them and have them go that way. It's hard to draw when you're trying not to get your hand in a bunch of paint. Okay, once I have that set, now I'm going to mix up some more color. Let's see, I think I'm going to go with orange. And I'm going to fill in my birdie beak. Birdie beak. And then I'm going to fill my feet in with the orange too. One foot down. Other one to go. Okay. And sometimes I'm using too much water right now, so some of my black is bleeding into my foot. But I can fix it by getting my brush a little bit on the dry side and scooping up some of that water. It's kind of neat. It lifts it off the page a little bit. You can also use paper towel to help me do that. It's called blotting. And I fill that foot in. Okay. Next I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to start to paint my hat in. Let's see what color you want. Let's do purple. I'll fill my hat in. And I'm going to be speeding this next part up. I'm going to pick a simple pattern to color my striped part of my hat in. So I'm going to be picking blue and purple and do some blue purple stripes down below on my hat and my scarf. You are allowed to pick a different pattern if you would like, but go for it, go to town, color it in a pattern. So I'm going to speed this next part of my video up. If you get too far behind, just pause it. But that doesn't mean you should just scribble. No scribbling. Okay, so speeding up. Okay, so now I'm ready to add some blue. So I'm going to mix up some blue. And I'm going to add a little bit of blue on the edge of my birdie before it turns to black. So on the white area on the side, I'm going to give him a little bit of blue. It's going to make him look like it's a shadow and almost like it's kind of cold and chilly outside. So I'm adding a little bit of blue along the outside of his belly. And I lied earlier, it's not blue and purple that I used. It's green and purple. Oops, my bad. And at the top, I'm going to add a little bit of that blue line too. Cutesy wootsy penguin. It looks like he's ready to go outside. Or maybe here it is outside. Alright, so from there, then we're going to start to focus on our background. So I'm trying to fix up some of my bleeding paint right now. Sometimes their paint does not want to stay. So for my background, I'm just going to think of doing some like swirlies, like it's almost windy, like he's in the North Pole and it's windy. So I think I'm going to do some blue lines. I'm adding a little bit of blue in his hat. So I think I'm going to add some blue swirls in the background and some purple swirls. See how that works out. Okay, background, mix up my blue. Swirly twirlies. Swirly twirlies. It's windy out there. Okay, so I'm going to add some swirly twirlies to take up some of that negative space. And I'm going to add some in purple. So at this point, I'm going to speed my video back up again. And I will talk to you at the end. And ta-da! I'm all set. Here's my cold penguin. Yay! Share this with me on Seesaw. And I can't wait to see how your penguins turn out. And I especially want to see those patterns. So, go team!